All right, I'm on the phone with Craig Dagan, the head coach for the Maine Maritime Academy women's basketball team. And, Coach, last week we talked about whether or not the MMA women's basketball team was going to be ready to go on the road after their loss to Husson. And you said we kind of talked about it. It was put up or shut up time. And, well, I'll tell you, the girls put up two convincing victories at Linden State and at Johnson State this past weekend.
Yeah, the kids did a good job. We once again, our preparation was good, and I think last week we spoke about the execution matching the preparation, and I thought they did a pretty good job with that. We had two pretty good game plans going into each game, and I thought for the most part our kids executed those game plans very, very well. And, the game on Friday night was we won pretty handily, and the score definitely didn't necessarily indicate the how competitive the game was on Saturday. I think we ended up winning by double digits, but it was a close game throughout. And, on back-to-back days, it's always a little bit harder to play, and especially when you're on the road, and especially when you're playing with a bunch of young kids. And our kids stepped up, and Elaine Felix, our freshman post player, was pretty special on Saturday and carried us through. She ended up with 28 points and scored more than half of our points, or right around there. And she kind of put us on her shoulders on Saturday and played really, really well. But it's always good to go on the road, especially into Vermont, and get two victories. Our kids handled their business very, very well, and now we got another big weekend ahead of us.
Well, and the awards are piling up for Elaine Felix. She was the ECAC Rookie of the Week. She was the co-player of the week from the NAC conference and co-rookie of the week, and then also New England women's basketball player of the week, I think, as well.
Yeah,
rookie of the week.
Doing a great job for us, and she works hard. She's one of our hardest workers, day in and day out, and she's obviously a talented kid. But it's always good, and there's always talented kids out there that don't necessarily have the work ethic to be successful at this level, and Elaine certainly has both, and Elaine loves the moment. She's a team player. She's an unselfish kid, but when the game's on the line and somebody has to take that shot, Elaine wants the ball, and I think she's relishing the opportunity to be featured here at Maine Maritime and get an opportunity to get a lot of touches, and she's certainly performing and producing from that perspective for us as well. But the awards are deserving for her. But the one thing that I like about her the best is just how hard she works day in and day out, and she's a sponge, and she wants to learn, and she wants to be a great player, and that's always a nice thing when you get a kid that has the work ethic and wants to be a great player, but has the talent to match it too, and she certainly has all three.
A busy weekend again coming up. You've got two games this time. Vermont colleges come to you where you play Green Mountain on Friday and then Castleton on Saturday.
Yeah, it's a big week. Every game at this point is big, and the two wins in Vermont this weekend gave us a kind of a two-game swing with a couple of teams that were behind us in the standings, so it gave us a little bit of breathing room about halfway through the conference schedule, and after this weekend, I think that's exactly where we're going to be, is halfway through our conference schedule. And, Green Mountain's a team that's been struggling record-wise, but they've improved, dramatically in regards to their talent level, despite their record. And then Castleton on Saturday is a team that we've struggled with the last 3 years. And, they've been the class of the conference, going to two of the last three NCAA tournaments. And it's a game that we look forward to. But, we got to take care of business on Friday night, and before we worry about Saturday, we're going to take one game at a time, as we always do. And hopefully things are a little bit better in our preparation than were yesterday's practice. We have a good weekend. We win a couple games, and we have a few days off, and we came back and had probably the worst practice of the year yesterday. So I'll be very interested to see how the kids respond today, and hopefully our preparation over the next few days is a lot better than it was yesterday.
Somehow I think you got the message across that their practice intensity probably wasn't up to par. Or
I
else.
hope so. If they didn't figure it out, they're gonna have a long day today for sure.
I was going to say, if they didn't figure it out, I'm sure you'll make it plainly obvious prior to or during today's practice session?
I got a pretty bright group of kids, so I think they got the message yesterday. And as I said, if they didn't, we will somehow reinforce that message early on in practice today, and hopefully clean things up. But listen, that's what happens sometimes with a young and inexperienced group of kids, and with such a large group of freshmen. Unfortunately, they were the ones that carried the tone of practice yesterday, and our leadership hopefully will be better today, and it has been pretty good for the most part all year long. So there's always a few of those days throughout the course of a season in practice, and unfortunately yesterday was one of those days, and I have a lot of confidence in this group that they'll bounce back today and prepare well and be ready for the weekend. And as I said, my biggest worry is just not making sure that we don't overlook Green Mountain and in preparation for Saturday, because I know that our upperclassmen in particular are very much looking forward to the opportunity to play Castleton, and we just got to make sure we handle our business Friday night in the process of getting ready for Saturday as well.
Castleton is number 2 in the NAC conference with a 7-1 record. You guys are sitting 5th at 4-3. I know you're looking one game at a time, and I understand that philosophy, but is it easier, do you think, to play Green Mountain first and then Castleton, or would you rather have it be Castleton, then Green Mountain, or you don't care?
It doesn't really matter. I mean, the only thing that in regards to Castleton, they run so many different sets. I mean, they're a very intricate and diverse offensive team with probably close to 10 to 12 different offenses that they could throw at you on any given night. So not having a lot of preparation time for that can sometimes be a little bit difficult, as opposed to playing Friday night, then turning around and giving the kids a scouting report with 12 offenses on it. It can be a little bit overwhelming, especially for the freshmen that hadn't seen them before. Our upperclassmen are pretty familiar with what Castleton does, but it really doesn't matter, Chris. I mean, I know it's very cliche-ish and all that stuff, but we do. I mean, we got to take the next game that's in front of us on our schedule and prepare the best we can for that. And just as we have a very short period of time to prepare for Castleton, the same is true for them. And and you can look at them right now and say they're second in the conference. They're the best team in our conference.
Yeah.
And I don't say that based on necessarily this year, but based on their track record over the last 3 or 4 years. They've been the most difficult team in the conference to play against year in and year out, and it's always a challenge playing them. Not only because of the way that how diverse they are offensively. I think they're only giving up like 44 points a game. They're a solid defensive team. Tim does a great job coaching them up every year, and it's a hard 40 minutes for sure, and it's always a physical 40 minutes, and it's something that. The first time around for young players, it's just hard to describe and prepare them for. They got to get out there and get whacked around for the first 5 minutes before they figure out, like, all right, this is real here. And we have a lot of teams in our conference that are very much finesse, and this is one of those teams that there isn't a lot of finesse. They're a very physical basketball team.
You need to have that gym just packed with Mariners fans, don't you?
That would be nice. I mean, we've had great crowds so far this year, and I know we're supposed to get some weather this weekend, and in particular on Saturday.
It's going to be south. It's south of us, so.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. But yeah, obviously, the more support that our kids have on game days, it's great for them, and we're looking forward to another great weekend of basketball here at Maine Maritime.
All right, Coach, have a great week. We look forward to talking to you next week. You've got the games then, and then you also, this coming weekend, then you have a game on Tuesday, the 26th at home against UMaine Fort Kent. So 3 games in the next week, all big games for you.
I appreciate it, and I look forward to speaking to you next week.
All right, thanks, Coach. All right.